focusing on the things that we have, our current blessings, in a space of gratitude, allows us to exist in this space of receptivity. Consciously, we also have to recognize something else. Life itself, infinite intelligence itself, is constantly at work. The voids, right, that we may observe as far as the things that we desire or that which hasn't manifested itself yet in our reality, the space, the time, the energy, the resources, the experiences, all those things, these things represent voids for us. Yes, we have blessings, but there's also things that we aspire to realize in our lives, things that we intend to observe in our physical experience. Infinite intelligence itself is constantly filling creation with creation. That's its function. So those voids that you observe within your experience, that those are spaces of great potential. Life is at work. Divine intelligence is at work. It's constantly at work. There's intentions, there's seeds that are in the process of germinating at the moment. And life is doing its thing. So while you are recognizing your current blessings in this space of gratitude, life is doing its work as well. It's creating the foundation for those voids to be filled. It's just that those voids are filled when you are in the space or frequency of receptivity. We say every day, there's no such thing as too much gratitude. There's always more creation, always more expansion, always more for you to experience. Gratitude is naturally receptive, and we're constantly doing the work within the integrated lifestyle that we've developed with for ourselves as we evolve and recognize more of the nature of life and everything that's unfolding before us. Our cup is always being filled. The voids, they're blessings. They're supposed to be there. It's your acceptance of them and recognizing their potential that allows you to stay at home and beyond this frequency of need. Life is woven through already being happy, through enjoying yourself now, not later. You're not focused on the void and waiting for life to do something, or just like you don't plant a seed and sit there and look at the dirt and wait for the plant to grow. You plant the seed and we keep it moving. We do the work, we serve, we give, and we keep it moving. We don't sit there and anticipate or expect for praise or instant gratification from the seeds we've sown. We keep it moving. This is where abundance spreads constantly. We share, we enjoy, we appreciate, and we give thanks each and every day. It's truly wise to celebrate that which is present now. With these aspirations to be of greater service, greater vibrancy, there's a tendency for us to carry a lot of weight around with us, especially on this path. As we heal, there's a lot of, let's just say, expectation and pressure that we place on ourselves because we're a minority, souls that are open and willing to take personal responsibility for their experience. And we have loved ones, tons and tons of loved ones and people that we share connections with that may not be in the space as of yet. We can emotionally take on quite a load, sometimes even subconsciously, because we intend to nurture. We want to be of service. We want to help. There's a deeper makeup outside of our conscious awareness that carries this same energy. This sense of responsibility and feeling as if we're somehow not achieving and doing everything that we could do right now. Here's something to process about that. It's not just your conscious awareness and your sense of duty or personal responsibility or nurturing or just this overbearing motherly energy that's responsible for that weight. It's a lot deeper than that. Many of you have been present for very catastrophic experiences throughout the earthly timeline that you all still have a connection with. There are many of you that were alive during the times of Atlantis, and you kind of was aware of what was going to take place, but kind of took your time and felt like you had time to do X, Y, Z. It wasn't going to happen that fast or whatever, and then it did, and everything was destroyed. And on an even more minuscule level, there are those of you who were responsible for villages or were a part of forces or amongst elders, shamans of villages or collectives of humans who experienced some type of destruction, and you fell asleep at the wheel. You weren't ready when it was party time, when the invading forces came in to do what they were going to do to whatever civilization that was. You were in a place of influence and didn't act as fast as you could have. We're talking about very extensive experiences in previous lifetimes that we aren't necessarily consciously aware of, but subconsciously, emotionally, those blockages, that soul imprint is there because of our many experiences here on the planet. And of course, we spoke a couple of weeks ago on the stillness about us accessing all these memories from past lifetimes coming into our experience as of now, as we request access to some of the talents and skills that we had, or that we had within those lifetimes. We get the skills, we get the experiences and the skills and the know-how, but we also are responsible for transmuting some of the bad experiences that also came with those lifetimes. We get the whole pack. We get the whole packet, not just the good stuff. Some of the stuff that didn't necessarily feel good, or like I said, the guilt and shame of us dropping the ball during those lifetimes, they also come with those skills and abilities. Now, here's what's necessary for us to lighten our load. Life is infinitely intelligent. Say it over and over and over again. There's nothing that happens by accident. Nothing. So, in feeling that guilt, and feeling that pain and all that other stuff that comes, that weight of feeling that you're responsible for each and every individual around you, and you need to make sure everybody is sane and everybody heal and raise their vibration and all that. This is something that you can't control. You only can control your level of frequency, your level of unconditional love and understanding and forgiveness. Campaigning and attempting to get other people to rise to the occasion is a fight that you will not win. It's you running in circles. It's a dog chasing its own tail. You chase the mirror. You attempt to force the mirror to do things that you won't do for yourself, that you won't do within. Whatever you do within is reflective in the mirror. What happens inside is reflective outside. So if you're attempting to relieve a sense of guilt and establish a sense of fulfillment and personal responsibility through chasing people around and trying to sell them ideas about what's more aligned and what their true self and all that, let's not do that. Lighten your load, beloved. Understand this. With that guilt, with that shame, with that pressure that you're holding on to, understand this is something that can be released by you through recognizing that there's nothing that has happened that was not supposed to happen. It was a part of the story. All of it was a part of the story. You created the story just like that. And in past lifetimes, yes, we've experienced plenty of failures and have felt the pain and guilt of not doing things that we thought we could have done during that time. But that's not it. That's the story. That's how the story goes. Enlighten your load. You're free to be present, to live with an open heart, knowing that this now moment is the opportunity that you have to not drop the ball, to step your game up and do what you actually came to do, to follow your heart, to follow the notions that you're receiving, and actually execute this time. One of the reasons we're feeling this energy, this unknown pressure from existence, is that this is the same energy that we were experiencing on the cusp of great change on the planet from before. Like, this is that energy, this is that fabric. So many of you are feeling these same energies, this subtle urgency to act, to do something. You recognize the colossal nature of what's on the horizon. It's truly big. Of course, it affects everyone on this planet. So yes, that pressure is there. It's subtle. It's bubbling up, especially with those of you who are sensitive. It's just that this is also at the foundation of a lot of the guilt and pressure that you feel to do something around you, to figure things out or get people to do whatever. Relax. You're already doing what you're supposed to do, beloved. That's truly being present and doing the work that's being presented to you. Infinitely intelligent. All integrated within your experience. We get discouraged sometimes too because we're in the process of healing. It's a process. Listen. Being awakened is about being conscious. It's about recognizing that you, right now, you are in the driver's seat. You recognize that you have a choice. This is where we don't stress the catalyst. Yes, you're going to get tested. People are going to come and do stuff, and there are going to be things that you used to that you react to, that you respond to, and things that you used to react to, but you now respond to. All those categories are currently in play. It's just that because you react doesn't mean that you're suddenly not awakening. You're still aware that you have a choice. It's just that you chose the old way of doing things because there's still some kinks in your armor. You're still healing. Possibly next time you'll choose to respond to the situation versus react. When you're conscious, there's no going back. When you recognize that you're doing what you're doing, there's no going back to sleep. You know that you have a choice now. You're in the driver's seat. As said before, you're in the game. You're in the game now. You're not waiting on people or all that, waiting on something to happen. You're in the game now, and it's time to ball. And sometimes balling come with dropping the ball. They'll call a foul on you sometimes. Foul, like you done said something crazy. Foul. You still in the game. It's not a technical foul. You ain't out the game. You still in, but you got called. They blew the whistle on you. Time out. Let's huddle up again. Let's figure this thing out. So don't allow the catalyst and your reactions to catalysts counsel you out or somehow discourage you from continuing to ball, continuing to do what you know you came here to do. Here's what's beautiful about being in the game and consciously being in the game, knowing that you're in the driver's seat. When you truly know who you are, as you become more willing and responsible, the challenges that are being presented to you, all the blocks and man-to-man defense, you get double team, right? All of them. I'm using sports analogy now because it's just a fun way of fun analogy to deal with. When things seem unfair and you get double team, when they pull another defense on you, or you know what I mean, like you got a serious defender, something being put in your place. And at the end of the day, we're talking about challenges. The more willing you are to take responsibility for the ball, willing to play and do the work, the more of a breeze and enjoyable those challenges are to face. Because you recognize what it is. You recognize the game. you recognize the catalyst for what it is. The pressure that's being applied while I'm balling is meant for me. It's assisting me in becoming more stable, more sturdy, more emotionally intelligent, more spiritually intelligent, more aware of self, more refined as a soul. All this stuff is meant for me. It's helping me. It's assisting me. I'm not being bullied. I'm not being backed in a corner. There's always a way forward. It's just that as I consciously recognize what's taking place, I thrive on the pressure. There is a way forward. And the more hopeless it seems, the more beautiful the realization. The stronger you are on the other side of the experience. Getting to the other side of the experience is it's always about being cool. It's always about staying peaceful. This is what throws most people off, because they throw some type of defense at you and the whole team start blocking you. Everybody on the team is surrounding you. You got the ball, you're doing this, you're trying to... If you just be cool and hold the ball. If you just be cool and hold the ball, a way will be made. That's it. You just gotta relax. Just don't drop it. You just gotta be cool and hold the ball. Once again, the more willing you are to take responsibility and move forward, the more you recognize what life is doing for you. Not doing to you, what life is doing for you. You're being prepared. You're being groomed to take the lead. You're being groomed to handle the pressure, to establish a deeper level of courage and confidence within yourself. Life is schooling you in being more courageous and being more confident and being more trusting in your experience. Someone who loves you more than anybody in the world, anybody in the universe, is challenging you to step up to the plate. And you have everything that you need to move forward. Why be frightened? Why be scared? Why be discouraged? Why feel hopeless? Why? You've been chosen to go first. You've been chosen to take the lead, to bear the emotional burden, willing to take responsibility. Doesn't have to be hard. Doesn't have to be hard. You can just hold the ball and not lose your cool. Recognize you in the game and you're safe. You are aware of timelines and vibration. You got the key. You are aware of timelines and vibration. Do you know what that means? Just reflect on it. Just reflect on it. Reflect on it as a source energy being. You are currently conscious of timelines and vibration. Consider the implications. An infinite universe of infinite possibilities all existing now. Infinite timelines existing within this space of now that is the home of eternity. Vibration. What is vibration responsible for? You got this infinite universe of infinite possibilities right before you. A doorway right before you. You are aware of that doorway. You have a choice. You always have a choice of your frequency of being. What is your frequency of being? What does that do for you? Your frequency of being is similar to your passport. You get to choose where you're going to go. You can go anywhere you want to go, and you get to choose where you go based on your free will choice to choose which vibrational frequency to radiate, to hold in this now moment. Some of the most simple aspects of our existence get caught in the confusion of complexity and the mind's desire for prerequisites to each and everything, all the details and the most simple truths. You're aware of timeline and vibration, beloved. Many souls choose to experience hardship, misery, suffering, and drama. Choose. Present tense, still choosing to experience hardship, misery, suffering, and drama. You know why? It's mainly because this is where those souls are the most focused. Sometimes life got to shake us just to get us to focus on what's truly important for a little while. And we'll create it for ourselves. And we're just allowing the ego mind to drive everywhere and do all. I mean, I like the ego driving every now and then. It's cool. But I know there's a grander reality, forces at work that are beyond conscious comprehension unfolding, where it's necessary for me to pay a little more attention. I can't fall asleep at the wheel. That pressure we were talking about, oh yeah, something going on. And it's a lot of instability taking place with a whole lot of people. Look, let's be responsible. Let's return to the heart space and allow the heart to drive a little bit more each and every day. There's still room for the ego to drive and have some fun and do all this stuff. I mean, come on, we live in the mind and the heart. Being conscious, once again, I'll go back to that point. Being conscious, being awakened. Being awakened is knowing that we are in the driver's seat and we have a choice. We can choose to step our game up each and every day. Each and every moment, we can choose to step our game up. Sometimes stepping our game up includes us making the harder decisions. Not the easy ones, the hard ones. Why? Because we're focused. We know what's truly important outside of instant gratification or the instant stimulation or feeling or ignoring or relieving. Like, there's a healthy balance in everything. It's just that sometimes stepping our game up involves focus, and that involves us making the harder choices that aren't necessarily instantly gratifying or don't feel good at first in the short term. But come on, as a mature soul, we're making the mature decisions. We're allowing the heart and the higher self to make the decisions that are best for us in the long run. Sometimes we gotta pass the ball versus attempting to drive to the hoop every time. Because understand this, with focus, we can get to our destination faster, with ease and joy. It just requires us to step our game up a little bit every day. We can stop waiting for problems to show up, making the changes when everything is cool. That's something that comes with experience. To make the changes and make the hard choices when things are cool. Before it's a problem. Before it's a problem making the changes and making the choices that you know are most beneficial, that you know are the most mature. Before it's a problem. It's like paying your bills because you know you got to pay them anyway. You got to pay them anyway. Why not just pay them? It ain't going to go nowhere if you wait until you got to do it. Look, do it beforehand. Before it turns into a fire. Before it's urgent. Before it's a problem. This is stepping our game up. That's why when we talk about grounding work and all the transmissions and the things that we communicate here, that's why it's a lifestyle choice. It's not something that we kind of do part-time or on the side or whatever. That's why it's a lifestyle. It's an integrated way of being. We choose to live this way. We choose to constantly step our game up and be more and more responsible each and every day while serving, knowing that this path is designed to assist us in manifesting that which we truly desire more and more each and every day by doing what we know is necessary for us to do today, not waiting. These are brand new energies, beloved, that we're still learning how to work with. As conscious source energy beings, consciousness, we're being granted access to great power and truth, magical powers that exist within our being, outside of our conscious awareness and the things that we may have respected about the tough and rugged grit of life on earth. Blood, sweat, and tears. We're evolving to be a little more sophisticated. They have a term here described as to work smarter, not harder. What does working smarter and not harder look like within these energies? Perfect example. Perfect example. Meditation allows us access. Through truly just sitting still, we get to access and harmonize our being with the reality that we so deeply desire that normally would take us a decade of hard work to manifest. Through harmonizing internally with that world first. Less work with greater results. The universe supports you. You actually attract all the resources that you need to do all the things that you intend to do because you harmonize with that reality. Now everything that you need and you desire to experience is coming to you versus you having to bang out and get up every day banging and banging and banging and moving boxes and this, and the third in order to get to that place. And we're not necessarily talking about the law of attraction. It's a little deeper than that. We're talking about switching frameworks, changing dimensions, switching timelines via frequency. You're aware of timeline and frequency. You have the conscious tools to work with to be more sophisticated in the way in which you conduct yourself here within the illusion as source energy beings. You have the tools. Story is one thing to talk about it. It's a whole nother thing to do it. You know that. You know that. I hear a bunch of people talking about meditation. Oh yeah, meditation. Ain't nobody meditating. It's called working smarter and not harder. This is where sitting your butt down and closing your eyes pay off. To beat myself up, I look all old. I can show you pictures from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, where I look older than I do now. Because I was beating myself up the whole time, attempting to will what I wanted in my reality into fruition. Just pure will, getting up and just going. Doing everything I could to force what I wanted to take place into place. When in actuality, it was about me taking care of what was going on inside that allowed all the things that I needed to manifest themselves and present themselves to me naturally. Then I realized another key. You know how preferable it would be to experience physical pain than it would be to experience emotional pain? It's easier to experience physical pain than it is to experience emotional pain. That's something all of you get. You get that. Look at the energetic work and the emotional and physical work the same way. The energetic work is much harder than the emotional and the physical work. It's the most intangible of the three that require the most discipline, the most willpower to sit your butt down and do what you know what's most beneficial for you to do. I'm not talking about you meditating for 2 hours and 8 hours. And I have friends and they pride themselves on being able to meditate all day. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I got stuff to do. You know what I mean? Like, that's not for anybody's ridicule or judgment. Stress, my body's gonna look better. My energy's gonna be brighter. My day's gonna be sorted out a lot more refined, more efficient, because I took the time just to be still. The most efficient manner to execute everything that you intend to do, especially when it comes to your conventional world, is to always return to the command center, to come back to the boardroom, to return to the throne. This is where all your resources are. This is where all your information is. This is where all your support is. And I know it's hard because the brain's constantly active and there's all this stuff going on. But But that's more of a reason to return to the boardroom. That's more of a reason to come to the boardroom because you got all this stuff going on. You go on an endless journey to read all the books in the world, and you always end up right back in the mirror. All the searching and looking all over the place, trying to find the master and the guru and the ascended master, looking everywhere in the whole wide world, and you always come back to the mirror. You always end up looking right back in the mirror. Out of all the chaos and discussions and debates and infighting and all that stuff, you always come right back to the mirror, doing the work. It's not a mind game. It's not an action game. It's not about defeating anybody or anything. We keep going back here. Because here's the thing. Once you get grounded, heart-centered, with no drugs or alcohol or anything else distracting you or keeping you from feeling, you're alive to feel, beloved. You're in a human body to feel. You have the emotional intelligence to engage in this work, shifting beyond the thoughts of guilt, shame, judgment, and embarrassment, all within a space and now where you truly feel your essence as pure, unconditional love. When you can do that, you know you're doing the work. Here's the hard part. You're going to have to go through anxiety and fear and depression and sadness and anger and sometimes even rage to reach that point, to come to this place, to come to this space and feel your own essence as unconditional love. It sounds simple. It sounds easy. It can be. But we got to be willing to get up every day and take responsibility and ball. We got to get up every day and ball. Every day when you get up off that pillow, coach, put me in the game. It's time to ball.